Hello again, Ian Stick with Mastermind Games, back with more Warmachine and the Hermit of Henge Hold. I'm trying this video in standard definition, seeing if that helps anything. So Golden Skin 09092. So an Iosan elf by birth, the Hermit of Henge Hold was part of the organization known as the Seekers, whose goal was trying to figure out what exactly happened to their gods when they went missing. Unfortunately for him, the Hermit found out. He went insane, and he has had many visions of what is to come and is simply now playing his role. He has no idea whether it's going to be for the good or the ill of Imran as a whole, but he has no recourse but to simply play his part now and work for just about every faction as far as I'm aware. I haven't downloaded his card yet, so I don't know his specific abilities, though I have gone up against him once or twice and have a rough idea. So I'm going to let that flesh tone dry and move on in a minute. We'll see if this standard thing helps any. Alright, next, Shield Brown 09161. Very simple color scheme. Pretty much the flesh, bronze for the scroll tube, the beard, a simple robe and a bit of leather on the straps. As for the scroll case here. And Henge Hold is the location the Hermit's been largely holed up at. Of all the people he visited, to both warn them of the infernals and give their demands. Some brushed them off, some listened, and he simply plays his role. So he was originally part of the Oblivion campaign set, which included the first actual book in the 3rd edition after all these years. Which my only complaint about 3rd edition Warmachine is that I feel they've been really skimping on the fiction. Up until Oblivion came out, there were no books, and new online fiction was sporadic at best. So hopefully this signals a change in that. But the Hermit's now available on his own. And that's got it already, so let that dry and move on to the next. I think the standard thing might be making it worse, but I'm committed now. Alright. Matte White. I really don't know if this... I'm just going to have to keep playing around with things till I get it working right, so that's all there is to it. So, elves, Iosans especially, do live longer than humans, but the Hermit is old even for an Iosan, and may not have aged, so he may have aged prematurely and might be longer lived. It's really ambiguous, but definitely he's described in Oblivion as seeming even older than he looks. Okay. And Old Bronze 09197. I take a bit of a gamble here and is, scroll case seems to be a very powerful item in and of itself and cannot be forced open. Members of the Retribution of Syra and Oblivion tried and just could not manage it. I like using bronze for things that are supposed to be ancient and old, as bronze is one of the first metals humans here on Earth in the real world actually discovered how to work with. Alright. Okay. Let that dry, just one more base coat, then I can start to shade. Okay, last base coat for brown. I think this attempting to shoot in standard definition just isn't working out, like, at all. I can't undo this, not without stripping paint for 3 months and starting completely from scratch, so I'm just gonna have to roll with it, but I think I'm gonna have to just keep setting the video settings back to where they were and do high definition. But just getting the straps. So got to keep playing around with the lighting too. It's still not working out the way I need it to. There we go. There we go. Alright. Let that dry completely. Then start shading. Okay. Time to shade. Ruddy Leather 09109. Going to thin this into a wash with 1 part water to 1 part paint. And go over the relevant base coat. This will pool in the recesses and help make it look, will help make those recessed areas look darker, especially when it is highlighted. Which will be the next step. This has the longest drying time, and your drying times are going to be contingent on heat and humidity. And then I can do one more, Rainy Gray 09038, and this is going to go on the skin and the beard to give it an unhealthy pallor. After all, not only is the Hermit of Henge Hold very old, he's also partially infernal corrupted. Again, he's sort of an agent of chaos to a certain extent. He has no idea what his ultimate role is in all of this. I can thin that out just a little more, so I'm just going to put a little water on there. He is simply playing his part, even though he has no idea if this is for, if that part is for the good of the world or for the woe of the world. There are definitely a lot about this mall that brings Gandalf from Lord of the Rings to mind. Okay. I need to let that dry completely, and then I will do the scroll case, followed by the cloak. Yeah, I'm having a lot of focus problems on this one. Okay. Things are dry enough I can move on. So aged Pewter 09196. I don't need too terribly much of this. That will do. Once all this dries, I can get the brown and move on. Okay. Last shade is going to be Woodstain Brown 09160. And, alright, yeah, this blurriness thing is just really bad in this one, so I'll have to try different camera settings, maybe tweak my lighting a bit next time, so it's just, it is what it is. But this is also one of those things where I have exactly one shot to do it. I'm going to be careful in here because I'd rather not nick the beard. You'll notice I'm using the entire edge of the brush, not just the tip. Alright, once that completely dries, I've got a little more to do. Once this all completely dries, I can add a few details, highlight, and start on the base. The model's looking great, the video, not so much on this one. Alright, things are not completely dry, but they're dry enough I can move on. Rainy Gray again, 09038. Just a little dot. I'm going to put this in the Hermit's eyes. He is technically blind, so just gray, dead eyes. Excuse me. But the eyes of a man who has seen too much. I nicked the cloak a bit, but that'll come out when I do the highlighting. And then matte white. I'm going to prep the front arc. This could be one of the more difficult models to do the arc on, just because of how much of the base it's taking up. Flathead brush. Going to deliberately overextend at first, being very careful here where it comes close to the model itself. Carefully, carefully, carefully. I'm not sure if that shrieking is an animal or a very rusty swing or something. Okay, that gets the front arc prepped, so let all this dry completely, and then I can highlight and wrap up the base. Yeah, the snare definition thing just it's not focusing well at all. Alright, time to highlight. Golden highlight 09093. Using a dry brushing technique. So, ragged feathered brush, along the lines of this. Straight paint only, no water. Rub most of it out on a paper towel. And lightly dust the area to be affected. Oh yeah, that looks nice and diseased right there. Not a whole lot on the face though, I'm going to keep that mostly in shadow. Matte white again. That seems to be running thin, but that's at least one color I have a spare for. facial hair. So now the way I painted him, he's looking a little bit like Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars. Tarnished brass 09198. I definitely need to play around with the lighting some more. Try and do Burn Orange 09111. Try to do a more low res thing on the video itself is not working, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Okay, that's not a whole lot of this left. That might be enough to do what I need to do. Yeah, I think that was just enough to do the trick. So, the big one now is Driftwood Brown 09162. Going against any raised areas and edges, trying to really catch all the edges here. That is way too much paint. So I've definitely got my light on my right in a way that it keeps hitting my hand. And I see a bit that was missed completely, so just a bit of straight paint to get that, and that'll be okay. Okay, that's pretty good. In Sun Yellow 09008, which will be the faction color for the base. That might be enough. Flathead brush. Being super careful again where he's coming to the edge of the base and just fill that in. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let that dry completely, then I can touch up the arc and get the flock on there. Yeah, I definitely made a mistake in trying to see if downgrading the video quality to standard would help. So, learn from that one. Okay. So, got the Hermit centered on my self-healing cutting mat with the indentations on it for the marking of bases. I think I said that in just about the most awkward way imaginable. And I'm going to start with a little detail brush. It's still nice and pointy. Just carefully carefully mark the edges there. And then let's readjust my camera. Try to get this centered and get him in focus. Just carefully, careful. Just bring that down. Carefully, using just enough water to thin the paint. Just. Okay. On the other side, same. Now, going back to my trusty flathead, which has definitely lasted a lot longer than any of the round or oval brushes I usually use. Just again, carefully just extend that back. Again on the other side, being super careful around the cloak where it comes to the edge. Just go all the way around. Been a long time since I've had a model with this much of it extending out to the edge of the base. So, almost there. Okay. I've got the rock done. Now I need to let that dry completely and then I can flock it. Okay, time to base. Mix of white glue and water. Basically just, that needs a little more water. Kind of freshening up the stuff I used for Orin Midwinter. Okay, let's get that off to the side before I start spilling it all over my hands again. Really thin this out. Carefully go around the edges here. Trying to get underneath his cloak as well. Could have sworn while I was painting him he had shoes on, but apparently not. There's not going to be too much going on with the basic material, which again is going to be a mix of mostly flock with some static grassing, so give it a dip, knock off the excess. Kind of push that off with my thumb and take a spare brush that's dry, and being especially vigilant here, start pushing it away from the model where I do not want it. More up front. Let's try a different brush, it's got more bristle to it. Not too bad. So I need to let that sit for 20 to 30 minutes, give or take, and then I can seal it. Alright, last step, some scenic cement. It's a sprayer brush on adhesive. Glass eyedropper. Glass because this stuff will bond to plastic quickly. And then just carefully drip this into the flock. You need to give it some time to set, otherwise this will just make like divots and holes. All the way around. There we go. Let that dry. And that is it, the Hermit of Henge Hold. So I tried a few new things, and most of them didn't work out, so one for next time. Until then, I am Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, signing out.